when I'm coming up here. Okay, I'm Mr. Vina. I'd like to ask one quick favor for everybody. Is everybody having a good afternoon?
Yeah.
Favor is if you keep your emotions outside of this room. I'd like a clean canvas to work with as far as any kind of distractions that are going on in your head. It'll be the most beneficial for both of us. The first part and the last part of what I'm going to go over is scripted. We all have dreams. We all want to believe deep down in our souls that we have a special gift, that we can make a difference, that we can touch others in a special way, that we can make the world a better place. At one time in our lives, we all had a vision for the quality of life that we desire and deserve. For many of us, those dreams have become minimized in the frustrations and routines of daily life that we no longer even can make an effort to accomplish them. For far too many, the dream has dissipated. With it, so has the will to shape our destinies. Some have lost a sense of certainty that creates the winner's edge. My quest has been to restore the dream and to make it real, to get each of us to remember and use the unlimited power that lies sleeping within all of us. I am truly living my dream. I own a financial planning firm in Troy. That's my dream business. This is what I wanted to do when I was in my mid-20s. It takes a little bit of time for some people to figure out this is what I want to do. Some of the seniors in the room know exactly what I'm talking about. I was 25 before I realized this is for me. To be a successful financial planner, to be the best father I could be, to be an optimist, and in being encouraging to others. Was my road to success smooth? No. My father was an alcoholic. There was physical and mental abuse in my home. Unconditional love was non-existent. I was told from a very early age that I would never amount to anything. From the earliest age that I have in memory, you will never amount to anything from my mom and dad until I was successful, and I never heard that again. Money was scarce, and because of this, it helped me become the person I am, and it taught me how to overcome obstacles. The first 5 years I was in the business that I'm in, I made under $25,000 each and every year. I worked 50 to 60 hours a week. I lived in a studio apartment that had no kitchen. I had to watch my coworkers be fired for not producing enough, and family and friends would question me, why are you working these hours and making this little amount of money? Why are you doing this? Almost like a teasing, because I had a dream that I wanted to be self-employed, that I was going to build my own business and be successful. That was what I would tell myself, not them. These were the hurdles I needed to jump over to be successful in my dream business. Did I have second thoughts? Yes. But I never gave up, and my inner voice, everyone has an inner voice in their head that they talk to, not because you're crazy, because you have an inner voice, to stay positive. And I vividly imagined success, what it would feel like, look like, and be like. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the light at the end of the tunnel, the American dream that I not only knew existed, but that it was going to be mine. There wasn't an option of failure when I started in the business that I'm in. What was my weekly ritual back then? I would read as many goal and motivational books as I could get my hands on. For the most part, that was at secondhand bookstores, because it was right down the street, and if I was going to buy something, it'd be less expensive than a Barnes & Nobles or Borders. And I tried to learn as much as I could about the sales process, as much as I could about the sales process. I believe leaders are readers. Now, I read that, but I do believe that the leaders of this world are the readers of this world. And I'm not talking about Cosmopolitan or ESPN.com, because that's useless for you unless you're a sports commentator, which most people are not going to become. Something of substance. The internet is a wealth of knowledge that I never had when I was your ages. This is a huge benefit. You have a wealth of knowledge. You use that and become indispensable. I can sum up what I've learned in all the books and my business career. If people like and they trust you, they will do business with you. They will be your friend, they will be a happy significant other, and you will be a great student, potentially. How do you get people to like and trust you? By building rapport. The best way to build rapport is to, people want to associate with people like themselves. The best way to build rapport is by asking questions. The best questions to ask for rapport building is questions that start with why, what, how, where. Those are open-ended questions. Questions that can't be answered with one word, yes or no. Closed-ended questions, yes or no. Build rapport and trust, open-ended question. That takes practice. That may sound simple, but that takes practice to use open-ended questions, but that's the way you're going to build a fast rapport, and that'll build rapport with anyone. I will guarantee each of you one thing. Those that are inspired and willing to expand their minds with what I'm going to share will have an easier, quicker path to achieving your dreams and living the amazing life that each one of you deserve. I will guarantee that. It's not money back guarantee, but I will guarantee that. Okay, who is this person? Minus anybody that actually already heard this, but who is this person? Age 21, failed in business. Age 22, was defeated in a run for legislature. 24, failed again in business. 27, had a nervous breakdown. 26, sorry, missed this one, experienced the death of a sweetheart. 27, nervous breakdown. 34, lost a race in Congress. Lost another race for Congress at 36. 45, lost a race for Senate. 47, failed in an effort to become the vice president. 49, lost another race for the Senate. And age 52, became the president of the United States.
Is it Roosevelt?
No, who said that? Obama. Oh, you said that? Abraham Lincoln, very good. How'd you know that?
Somebody told you.
Somebody told you they heard this before today?
Yeah.
No. At least he's honest, I like that. Okay, Abraham Lincoln. But think about that. The guy failed his entire life. Actually, Rodney told me that he lost his son on top of his sweetheart. I didn't even know he lost his son. Nervous breakdown. I mean, 2 Congress failed attempts, 2 business failed attempts, 2 Senate, 2 vice presidency. He didn't step down in his goals. He went from Congress to Senate to vice president. He went up in his failures. And he became president at 52. What if he would have quit? The history books would not have Abraham Lincoln in the history books. That is my point. What separates everybody in this room from Abraham Lincoln? Nothing. Will you quit on yourself like he did not? Because if you don't, then there's no difference between anybody in this room and Abraham Lincoln. Is everybody familiar with Sylvester Stallone?
Yes.
That's an easy one. Okay, evicted from his apartment in 1970, worked odd jobs while pawning his wife's jewelry. In 1975, could not afford to feed his dog, so he sold them for $50 and cried all the way home. 2 weeks later, he wrote the script Rocky. After he watched Wepner fight Muhammad Ali. Got great reviews from the studios, but what did Sylvester Stallone want when he wrote the script Rocky? He wanted to play Rocky. The studio said, no, we'll give you $125,000 for something you just wrote. You wrote it. Words on paper, but you're not starring in it. We want to have an experienced actor that doesn't have the weird accent that you have, and this is what we'll give you, $125,000. Sylvester Stallone said no. They went all the way up to $350,000 for that script. No. They went down to $35,000 with him playing the lead. He could have taken $350,000 in his hand, or the 2 in the bush, I guess, is $35,000, and he's got the lead role. Was that a good decision?
Yes.
How many people would have made that decision if you'd have been Sylvester Stallone? I would have taken the $350,000, no doubt. I would have definitely taken it. But he believed in himself. he said, there you go. I want to be this movie. It's going to make me a star, or at least I'm going to be a star in it. And he was right. He didn't sell himself short, and you can see his career thereafter. What's the, you're not allowed to answer this. The wealthiest, the richest place on this planet is where?
Dubai? Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Jeez. Everybody, I've heard that more than anything else today. No, that's not it.
What?
The wealthiest place on this planet
Like a
is
country?
the graveyard. Because the graveyard has all of the plays that were never written, the songs that were never sang, the inventions that never went to production, because the ideas and the dreams and the hopes of the people that came up with these ideas never allowed them to happen. That's why the graveyard, and hope that had an idea in this room that they didn't want, they were embarrassed that, you know, why would I want to waste this out there? You think Bill Gates thought that way? No. He's like, I'm going to create something. I have an idea. And the best, the wealthiest people on the planet are the ones that use their ideas and work them and make them into reality. And that's why the graveyard is the wealthiest place on the planet, not Dubai or Switzerland or anywhere else. Okay, there was a Yale University study of graduates in 1953. The graduates were asked a simple question: do you have a written plan and written goals for after you graduate? 3% of them said yes. 97% no. They followed these people 20 years later. They asked the same people, what are you worth? Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Do you feel comfortable? The 3% that had a written plan and written goals were worth more than the 97% that didn't. Now this is Yale. 3%, you have 97% competing against 3% and you lose. This is the power of goal setting. That is the power of having a written plan, and I don't care if you're seniors or not, everybody in here should be getting used to setting goals as simple as whatever you want. To set a goal for yourself, a weekly, monthly, annual goal, something to put it in writing to get used to it, because that is what separates the individual success from the masses, is being a goal setter. Anybody familiar with Lee Iacocca? Lee Iacocca was hired by Henry Ford as an engineer in 1946. He worked his way through sales, vice president, became the president of Ford in 1970, and in 1978 he was fired by Henry Ford. For the reason, sometimes you just don't like somebody, is what Henry Ford told Lee Iacocca. A year later, Lee Iacocca was talking to his wife about how Chrysler, no one could turn that company around. No one. His wife looked at him and said, I think Mr. Ford would be very happy with that thought process. And that's all Lee Iacocca needed. That was all the motivation he needed. He was the president of Chrysler within 1 year, and it was the beginning of one of the biggest turnarounds in this nation's history, because Lee Iacocca knew one thing. What's the sweetest revenge? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Massive success. Massive success is the sweetest revenge. The people that, my friends and family that would make fun of me when I was working 50, 60 hours a week, making 24, 23, 22,000, what do you think they're saying today? Massive success is the sweetest revenge. You don't even have to say anything. Lee Iacocca didn't have to say anything to Henry Ford. He knew it. If he wanted to say something, that would be salt in the wound, but you don't have to ever say anything. Massive success is the sweetest revenge. Animal Farm, Diary of Anne Frank, and Lord of the Flies. Everyone's familiar with these books, correct? Okay. These are the reviews from editors that read these books of what they thought. It is impossible to sell animal stories in the United States of America. That was Animal Farm. Diary of Anne Frank, the girl doesn't, it seems to me, have a special perception or feeling which would lift that book above the curiosity level. Lord of the Flies, it doesn't seem to us that you have been wholly successful in working out an admittedly promising idea. Did the authors of these books let those comments disrupt their dream? No, that's why they're in high schools across the country. Who to listen to for advice? There's two types of people that will tell you you cannot make a difference in this world. Two types. One is the type that is afraid to try, and the other one is the ones that would be afraid of you being successful. Those are the people that will tell you you cannot make a difference as individuals in this world. It's the ones that are afraid to try and the ones that are afraid that you'll be successful. Most people don't want to see other people succeed because they lose power. Just like the friends and family when I was getting into the business, I had to look up to them because whatever, they had more success, they had more, but now, who's looking down? Okay, people don't like to give up that power. That's why they would rather have me fail, because then they're, okay, well, I still got the upper view. If he succeeds, that's the way some people work, not everybody. The ultimate power is not, is helping people work together, not pulling people apart. And that may mean a family member, a friend, or a teacher that has always encouraged you, always has been supportive of you. Those are the people you want to trust with your feelings. The ones that actually want you and encourage you to do your best. I have a 9-year-old daughter, her name's Sophia. The words besides I love you she hears more than anything else is do your best. Whatever she's doing, I want her at 9, 10, 11 to do your best. Because if you do your best, if she does her best and she gets a D, okay. If you honestly gave your it all and it's a D, then that's the best what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna pressure her, but when she doesn't do her best and she maybe gets an A, I would be disappointed. I want her to live with pride in herself, knowing that she's always done her best. Everybody in this room is motivated by either pain, avoid pain, or to gain pleasure. If everyone in this room was to enter into a part-time job this summer, or a full-time job, it would either be for two motivations. Because you want to buy a car, because you want to buy clothes, because you want to go out to eat at restaurants, because you want to go out and party at night. Whatever it is, you want something that you think will bring you happiness. That's moving towards pleasure. The other part may have a friend or a relative that they live paycheck to paycheck. They're miserable, they're unhappy, they never have any money. And they may look at that and say, that scares me. I don't want to be like that person. I want to have financial freedom. So I'm going to spend a little bit, but I'm going to save the balance because I'm afraid. Avoid pain. The key to success is massive decision making. Did Sylvester Stallone make a massive decision, turning down $350 to take $35,000 that could have netted him out no more? Massive decision. Abraham Lincoln, to go into the presidency race at 52 after all the failures. I mean, seriously, I don't know how he won the primaries, but massive decision. The bigger the decision, the better, the more the upside, the better the results. How do you handle rejection? You learn from it and move on. All the examples that I've already gone over. What would you do if you could not fail? Think about that. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? That's a question each one of you should ask yourselves, not just the seniors, everybody. Because that is ultimately going to tell you what you should be doing with your life, potentially. Because failure wasn't an option for a lot of people, and that's the way you should be looking at it when you think of that. Very powerful.